calories for breakfast. That's because you had a 1,500 calorie dinner here, still sitting on it. You're not going to be hungry when you wake up, of course not. But as you start reducing this dinner here down to 200, you're going to wake up famished, and all of a sudden you're going to be eating 400 calories. This takes about 3 to 5 days to get through. Okay? After 3 to 5 days, you will not get hungry here anymore. It'll be pleasant. You'll be full and you'll be satisfied. And that's what will happen there. That's going to take about 3 to 5 days. Some people say, Mike, I work out 7 in the morning. I can't eat 400 calories right then and there. Well, that's easy. What you can do is you can front load your snack here, have a 150 calorie snack, work out, and then take the 400 calories after the workout. For some people, for most people, it works out even better. Because what happens after an intense workout, your body's metabolism is moving at warp speed, maybe 3 to 5 times faster than usual, and you burn it off much quicker. Also, some people say, Mike, I like to eat dinner with my family at 6. That's fine. You can move dinner up. You can move the snack back. And that is even better. Because now you're eating about 1,050 out of your 1,200 calories before 5 or 6. You'll be a little more successful. So that's what we mean, eat less as the day goes on. Concept number 1, no matter what nutrition plan you follow, whether it's mine or Weight Watchers or whatever, you still need to put that into play. Any questions? Right, yeah, right. Just spray and...
Yeah.
This is all research-based also.
Michael, did you introduce Brian and Jessica to everyone?
Caroline is going to introduce Brian and Jessica to everybody. Well, take the board.
Hi everyone, I'm Carolina. I'm Mike's wife. That is Brian Jensen, our boot camp manager here at the club. And this is Jessica, our administrative manager here at the club.
Ooh, I like that. I like that, Caroline.
Thank you for the entertainment. Okay, that whole concept research-based. They have taken a group of people and they say, listen, you come to this place and we give you a 2,000 calorie breakfast every day for 90 days. Then we want you to come here for lunch and for dinner. I want to give you 0 calorie teas, gelatins, and soups to get you through the day. And they do that for 90 days. And take another group of people and they say, listen, you come here for breakfast every day and for lunch. I want to give you 0 calorie teas, gelatins, and soups to get through the day, but we're going to feed you a 2,000 calorie dinner for 90 days. Every time they run this study, they just run it over and over again, this group always loses weight as a whole. And this group always gains weight as a whole. Every time. And it's because of the activity levels. You're more active during the day, fill your bodies up with calories, you have a whole day to burn it off. So I tell my clients, when you eat like this, you look like this. You're really sad, you have your hands in your big hips, and you're standing there, you're wondering, like, why am I so big? Right? You eat like this over here, you know, you're happy, you're a big muscle person, run around with a very fast metabolism, and you're not worried about your hips. So it's really important. Again, no matter what nutrition plan you follow, that's what you need to do. Eat less as the day goes on. Okay. Anybody have any questions about that? We're really good. Okay, next thing that we have up here is you want to find, and this is the most important concept of our whole challenge, and what I believe is the most important concept of any weight loss program. You have to find the least amount of carbohydrates that your bodies need in order to get through the day. Your body's running carbohydrates. When you think, your body burns carbohydrates. When I move my arms up here, I'm burning carbohydrates. When I exercise with weights, I'm burning carbohydrates. So your body prefers to run on carbs. Most people eat too many. They eat the wrong types, they eat them alone, which is not good. So what we need to do is control them. And if you can control them, you'll have success. And so I want to teach you guys a little bit thing about carbs. For me, there's basically 3 types of carbohydrates. First types are starches. Everybody know what starches are? People call them the bad carbohydrates.
Potatoes.
Yeah, bread, potatoes, rice, pasta, beans and legumes also. A lot of people are surprised at that. Most beans, for every gram of protein, there's 3 to 5 grams of carbs. So is it more of a carbohydrate or is it more protein?
I didn't know that.
Mostly carbs. I think there's maybe one, I think fava beans the only bean that's a 1-to-1 ratio. Most of the other ones are carb heavy. So these are starches. And what they look like is they're glucose molecules. Glucose is sugar. And they're all bonded together. One next to the other. Glucose, glucose, glucose. And for conversation purpose, Maybe there's about 50 of them bonded together. And they're full of glucose, are really long. Next type of carbs are fibrous carbs. And fibrous carbs are what people call healthy carbs. They're basically vegetables. And what they look like is they're glucose molecules, and they're all stuck together. And you know what? They look the same as starches, bad carbohydrates. The same as the good ones. The difference is maybe the fibers are maybe only 20 glucose molecules long. And the third type are simple carbs. And those are things like fruits. Those are the better ones. Then you have table sugar and candies and sweets and things like that. But what they look like is, I'm sure you can guess by now, they are glucose molecules, and they're all stuck together. But maybe there's only about 10 of them. So your body doesn't know the difference between these once they're in your system, because what happens when you digest them, you break all these bonds down. Here, body. And what you have is you have all these little glucose sugar molecules going through your bloodstream. Here's my blood vessel, and here's all my glucose going right through the bloodstream. Right there. So your body doesn't know if this came from a vegetable, a piece of bread, or a piece of fruit. Your body just treats it as sugar. It's glucose. Now in your blood vessels, or lining your blood vessels, are these receptor sites, and they're called insulin receptor sites. And what they're looking for is they're reading how much blood sugar, or how much sugar is in your blood. And when there's too high a percentage of glucose, when the percentage of glucose in your blood is too high, these receptor sites release insulin, a very powerful hormone. What insulin does, it drives your blood sugar levels down, so you don't go into a diabetic coma or diabetic shock or you die. So you really need to have this system in place, which is a good thing. But when this happens, the release of insulin or over-release of insulin, three things happen that aren't good. First thing is your body immediately goes into fat storage. So my client said, well, Mike, I have rice, and there's really only a gram of fat in rice, and I eat a lot of vegetables. There's really no fat in vegetables, and I love fruit, and there's no fat in fruit. How am I getting fat? Well, it's very simple, because all they're eating is carbohydrates, metabolized into sugar, causing an over-release of insulin, and all of a sudden the body just becomes a fat store. And that's how you get fat. This hormonal response doesn't happen if you eat too much protein or if you eat too much fat. It doesn't happen. Second thing is, once this mechanism starts, it causes you, well, it puts your body into a hunger phase and a sugar craving phase. We all have that, right? So, boom, fat storage, then you start hunger and you start craving sugar. So what happens? You have more carbohydrates. When you have more carbohydrates, what happens? Your body releases more insulin, you go back into fat storage. And then it has been shown, research has shown, is when you get stuck into this type of situation, your body actually releases compounds called glucomorphins or glucomorphogenic compounds. And there's a morphine aspect where your body starts craving and becomes addicted to sugar, and actually do become addicted to carbohydrates, and you keep going through this. You eat carbs, fat storage, start craving sugar, start craving carbs, and you're hungry, you keep eating and get into this cycle. And that's not a good thing if you're in a body fat contest. So you need to prevent it. All right? Number 3, you have your side effects. This is all written down for you. You have your side effects. So you can get lightheaded and dizzy, a little clammy, a little sweaty. Your temperament will definitely change. You get grouchy and grumpy. And you have all these different things go on. It's basically not a pleasure to be around. Fourth thing happens, not related to insulin or hormonal response, but also remember, for every gram of carbohydrate that your body stores, it stores 2 grams of water. So you're eating carbs, you're storing carbs, and you're storing twice as much water. And you get addicted to them, you start eating carbs again, you're in fat storage, you're eating more carbs, and now you're just filling up with water. Because every gram of carb you're eating and storing, you're storing water. So now you're fat and you're bloated, and you're miserable. All right? So we want to make sure that doesn't happen to anybody in here, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. So again, if you eat proteins and you eat fats, this does not happen. This is the major reason why people are overweight right here. It's the whole hormonal influence of carbohydrates. So the next thing is, well, how do we solve this? You're like, Mike, you told me before that you need carbs because that's how you run.